Okay, so it seems like we have a little bit of an update on Sameko Saba, or if you guys don't know who Sameko Saba is, the indie VTuber debut for Gawr Gura. Now, if you don't know, Gawr Gura left Hololive a couple of months ago. Essentially, they are going on to debut as an indie VTuber where they can have a little bit more freedom with what they do. Now, obviously, recently I actually covered the news of the actual debut, which is coming out in just 4 days' time on June 28th, and it seems that this is going to be a very, very popular debut. As you guys can see here, this got 8.2 million views over on Twitter, which was an animation pretty much teasing her new VTuber model, as well as some other stuff as well, and the overall kind of design and theme that they are going for whenever it comes to this new debut. Now, I think this is very exciting, and I'm very excited to see what they can actually bring to the table, but also as well, obviously her YouTube channel hasn't actually updated since this announcement, which I think is kind of crazy. I'd feel like, they'll be going a little bit, harder on promoting the fact that, June 28th is the date that Saba will be going live, but again, we haven't seen anything over on the YouTube, not even the animation like re-uploaded onto YouTube, which I think is pretty interesting. I don't really know why they haven't done that, but it seems that we've got more information about some other stuff though with a merch, which I think is very interesting. This popped up over on virtual YouTubers on the Reddit, and essentially they say Catfish got her debut merch prepped. Yeah. Obviously, by Catfish, obviously they're talking about the fact that the new design looks like they've quite literally taken a cat and a fish and turned her into a catfish, which I think is quite funny. And obviously, that is the design they're going for. Now, essentially, this collaboration is going to be with Omocat, who actually created the game Amori, which you guys have probably seen before, and they are a very, very popular kind of, people, company, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, it's very exciting to see that, this is going to be happening. And yeah, they released a tweet essentially saying Sameko Saba x Omocat coming soon. And obviously, as you can see, what it looks like down here is that we could be getting some kind of merch or something kind of similar to that. Obviously, people are going crazy down here. Camilla going crazy and saying already, will merch be easier to get since we don't have to deal with Japanese businesses, which honestly could be a big kind of factor into Gura merch now, or not even Gura merch, but Sameko Saba merch, because again, with Hololive previously with Gura, it was much harder to get merch and stuff because it was all mainly based in Japan, and it would be really hard to get it shipped over. But I think it's going to be much easier now, the fact that it's going to be with this other company. I don't know where Omocat are actually based, but I feel like I don't think they are based in Japan. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. But again, it seems like shipping should be easier. Obviously, there's been some replies there saying, as an EU citizen, yes, I've bought merch from Holo Gamers from Omocat. They said, Omocat has Hololive merch, right? And obviously, yeah, it seems like it's really exciting to see, though, that they have been working with them, especially, regarding the fact that they've worked with Hololive as well. So, they probably had this in the works for a little while now. Now, it's pretty crazy that this has been announced before the actual debut has even happened, which I think is, pretty mental. But it seems that they do have a very tight schedule whenever it comes to actually releasing this new debut, this new stream or whatever. And it seems that they're working very, very closely with a lot of these companies like Omocat, like other places as well, that are able to, push out these products and push out, a really big debut altogether, which I think is really nice. And I think that is one of the kind of, benefits of being an indie, is that you can actually really plan and schedule this kind of stuff to make the debut as big as possible, and essentially, have everything set up before it's already, started. Now, obviously, yeah, people are still very excited about this, saying bucket with bag, blue bucket with bag. They're saying, will it give us the same reassurances as Bucket? It said, lol, no way. It said, Saba's going to get a movie deal announced before she debuts, isn't she? It said, please have mercy on my wallet. So again, people are very, very happy that this is going on. Now, obviously, as this came out from Omocat, not as many people have seen this as maybe, they were expecting. But yeah, it says, it's got 500,000 views, and it's also got 21,000 likes. So people are very, very happy. And obviously as well, it's been covered on our such virtual YouTubers, as I said. And obviously people in the comments are saying stuff like, well, I think this is definitely more complicated than people felt it was. Not just anxiety, not just disagreement with managements. Let's not quickly grab to the simplest new reason possible to latch onto it. That's why most people are confused to begin with. They want an easy answer to something that's not so simple, which definitely is true. But honestly, I don't think it's really relevant to be bringing this up now. I honestly think that now that you know, Gura has moved on and we've now got Saba, I think that it's not really worth just kind of doting on the fact that, you know, there could be some big reason behind they're you know, leaving or whatever, and how things are in terms of the VTuber space. I just don't think there's any, you know, it's not worth people's time or not worth people's energy really to just even really be thinking about that. I think it's all we need to think about now is the fact that we're supporting Saba and just seeing, you know, what exactly we have in store for the future. Obviously, this person says, serious observation, you would think with how much Gura struggled with anxiety in relation to the hype machine of being the biggest VTuber in the world, that she wouldn't just go all in again on building the hype monster up, from the teasers to the pre-debut merch with famous people like Omocat. I'm happy for her, but I hope that she isn't falling into the same trap again. I don't think that's the case at all. I think that, honestly, I think it's a much better environment that she can actually take those breaks now. I think with Hololive, it would have been much harder to take breaks, much harder to kind of, you know, do whatever you want and what's best for you. Whereas with this, you can still be the biggest VTuber, or you can still be one of the biggest VTubers and kind of have control over your own life, which I think is going to be a much better environment. Because, you know, if something does go bad, if something does go wrong or whatever, then they have the freedom to take a break. They've got no company saying, oh, you kind of need to do this, you kind of need to do that, you know, you got this scheduled, you got that scheduled. It's going to be, you know, it's going to be much easier as an indie for her to take breaks, for her to kind of plan around that kind of stuff. Obviously, yeah, the anxiety of it is obviously bad, but I think it's much more bearable whenever you have a little bit more freedom and control over it. They say, I think it's time for us to accept that she isn't scared of her popularity as we thought. It checks out with how she emphasized her growth as a person during her 5 years in Hololive. Besides, debut merch is very normal nowadays. Every major debut has it, from Nimi to Justice to Amelie's VShoujo debut. Saba's just feels more hype because it's freaking Omocat. Either way, I think all her actions are easily explained by simply believing her own words, that she graduated due to disagreements with management and company direction. So yeah, it seems like a lot of people are still hung up over that, which I think is very interesting. I think, as I said, it's one of these times where you just kind of have to move on now. Unless anything else does come out about it, then I think, yeah, it's not exactly the best thing to be constantly, you know, doting over it. And I think it's just a better thing to move on. Obviously, we got, no matter what, her landing was going to cause waves. From my perspective, she may as well lean into it. Being a free agent and all really isn't cheap, which definitely is true. They say she is literal multi-millionaire. I don't think this is about money. I said, and it stops her somehow. Even billionaires want more money, which definitely is true, which is quite funny. I understand why, but teasing a big merch collab before you debut is kind of wild. I don't think it's that wild at all. I think it's something that a lot of VTubers, as you know, some of those comments were saying, are doing a lot more, and that they're kind of experimenting with before debuts, which I think is actually kind of nice. Obviously, they're saying everything about her debut is incredibly tightly planned. They said, considering that she made her account literally back in January of this year, it's fair to assume that all this stuff has been pre-planned since at least the beginning of this year. Having a full model ready of animations, merch / potential music video, etc. doesn't come out of thin air, which definitely is true. I don't know why some people kind of believe that this is spontaneous, or this is just something that she decided to do just on a whim. This is definitely one of these things that have been planned, been scheduled, and been, I guess, like, I don't know, it's been meticulously thought out. So again, it can run as smoothly as possible, and that obviously does include merch collabs like this, which is going to be very exciting to see. You know, we keep going saying blue bucket with strap. They said, you know what's better than a blue bag with a strap? A blue bucket with a strap, which again is, yeah, funny. They say, reminder that every single big debut has merch. Lots of subtle, not subtle, all at all anti-posting, trying to act surprised here. Debut merch company, debut merch indie, I don't know, just kind of rubs me the wrong way, guys, which again is so funny. I think that is definitely the reaction. I mean, yeah, whenever like a merch, whenever like a company or like a VTuber agency announces their new debut with merch and stuff like that, you know, everyone's like, oh boy, you know, I can't wait. And then as soon as like it's an indie one, they're like, ooh, wait, hold up, I don't know if this is all right with me, which again is kind of crazy. So yeah, I mean, some people have been a little bit confused by that. I don't really know why. I think it's very exciting and it's good news for Saba, as it seems like, you know, they have been planning a lot of this in the long run, and they've got a lot of stuff coming out, especially with some really big people like Omocat, which I think is going to be really cool to see. And I can't wait to see what they can actually produce and bring out. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because again, it's a very, very interesting situation that is going on right now. But I think that it's very exciting, and I can't wait for 4 days time until Samako Saba goes live. And yeah, hopefully it does go pretty smoothly. But yeah, that's all I got. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.